Alright, so today we're going to look at a basic introduction to the Scratch editor. And so you'll see that right now, first of all, that I'm actually using the offline editor. It's the same as the version that's available through scratch.mit.edu in their online editor, but it's available to be downloaded for free so that work can be done without an internet connection as well. So today we're just going to look at the basic layout and the parts of the Scratch editor that you can use to create all sorts of programs. So first of all, what I want you to see over here in the left-hand section is what's called the stage. The stage is where all of the actions are going to play out from the programs that you write. So all of your actions that are going to happen, the animation, whatever your program, is going to show up on the stage. The second section, if we go over to this middle section here, is what's called the block palette. You'll see that there are different tabs that are available, each with a different type of command that can be added to your program. And so we'll work more with these later, but note these are all the block palette. And then we have over in this section on the far right is going to be your scripts area. The scripts area is where you're going to drag your different blocks, and you may connect them together, so drag and drop them together to give a command to whichever sprite you currently have selected. So that brings us down to this pane at the bottom left, which is going to be our Sprites pane. All the sprites that we use are going to show up in this pane. So right now the default that comes up is just the cat sprite will come up in the middle of the screen. But if we wanted to add a new sprite, we could add it in several different ways. We could click this option which says to choose a sprite from the library, so where we'd have some preset sprites that are already available. We could draw a new sprite, draw or paint a new sprite. We could upload a sprite from a file to where you could actually use your own picture that you have saved to your computer. You could also take a picture from the camera to add a new sprite. So if you wanted a unique program that uses actual live pictures, you could do that as well. Over to the left, we have some of the same options, but to where we can actually change the background. So the default, there's just a blank background up. But we could do the same thing. There are preset backdrops in the library. We could paint our own backdrop. We could upload a backdrop from a file. And we could also take a picture from the camera. So just for a demonstration's purpose, if we added a new sprite, you can see it showed up on the page. We now have two sprites in the pane, and whichever sprite we have selected is the one that the scripts will currently be going to. So these scripts can run simultaneously, they can work with each other, they can interact in a lot of different ways, but be sure to make sure that you have the sprite selected that you want the programming to be applied to. So you'll see that the programming is changed from the apple sprite to the cat sprite. We could also have programming added for our backdrop as well. And so with each option, depending on what you want your program to do, you would drag the blocks together and have them connected in the scripts section. So going back to just a couple other things I want to show you, if we click on the sprite that we want, we also have the costumes. And so some of the sprites have preset costumes where there'll be a slight difference in the animation. These are available, so if we wanted to switch, we select the costume that we want, and it will make the change in the stage view. We could paint if we wanted to add a new section. So let's say we wanted to draw our own cat. We could have our picture drawn. And you see that it's showing up on the page as we draw it. So right now this is not its own sprite. What this currently is our own costume of the cat sprite. So it exists now in the costumes pane. So you'll see more of what we can do with that later, but there are a lot of different ways that we can add to that. And then finally, we could give sounds. So the default that comes up for the cat is a meow sound, but we could actually add sprites the same way we can with the images or the backdrops for the sprites. There's a sound library that's available that you can add to that sprite, which would then become available in some of the scripts inside the sound scripts. So that's just a basic introduction. You'll use all of these steps later to make complex programs or games, and so you could do a lot of different things with this. So I hope you'll have fun exploring all and learning about programming through the Scratch editor.